Hare Krishna. Okay, so before we begin anything actually, we should always start off with the Mangalacharan prayers. It is described, say Mangalacharana Hayat Trivida Prakara Vastu Nirdesh Ashirvada Namaskara. So the Mangalacharan prayers are meant for three things. First is Vastu Nirdesh, setting our objective. Second is Ashirvada, requesting for blessings. And third is Namaskara, offering our obeisances. So in the same way that if I were to go to your house and I just walked in without knocking on the door, you'll say, oh, that's quite rude. Here, we are trying to access the divine treasures that have been revealed in these wonderful scriptures. And if we do not take shelter of the acharyas and properly approach these scriptures, then we also will not be able to understand the real deep treasures inside. So this is the way that we approach. So with that mood, an objective, requesting for blessings, offering prayers, we will recite the Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadhantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadhanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dheena Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtuki. So, we have just covered the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and today we will be discussing the 9th canto. With the permission of all the Vaishnavas on the call, requesting all your blessings so that we can do something to serve Srila Prabhupada. We will try and delve into this chapter and understand the key principles for our spiritual life. So before we go into the 8th canto, I think it's important to set the 9th canto. I think it's important to get the context of what's happened so far in the Bhagavatam. So I want to zoom out, completely zoom out, the biggest zoom out possible that you can think of, and just contextualize where we are in the Bhagavatam. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is being discussed between the sages of Naimisharanya and Suta Goswami. And they are elaborating on the discussion that happened between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadev Goswami. Now, this Bhagavatam covers 10 topics. Atra sargha visarghoscha stanam poshanam utaya manvantara ishanukata nirodha muktirashraya. Sarga, which is universal creation by the Lord. Visarga, which is the creation that Lord Brahma does. Stanam, the positioning. Poshanam, which is the protection that the Lord provides. Uti means the impetus to act. Then Manvantara, the reign of the different Manus. Ishanukata, topics of the Lord's activities. Nirodha, annihilation. Mukti, liberation. And Ashraya, shelter. These are the 10 topics of Bhagavatam. And so the way these topics are divided is through the cantos. We can see that division. So we see first and second canto, they are considered the lotus feet of the Lord. And what do they discuss? They create the prelude, the introduction, the exposition, by which we can understand the key philosophical concepts to advance further in spiritual life. And in that you get these beautiful prayers, like Canto 1, Chapter 8, we have Kunti's prayers. Canto 1, Chapter 9, we have Bhishmadev prayers. We have discussion of Parikshit Maharaj, we have discussion of the activities of King Parikshit. So they begin explaining like that, and then we have the description of the Virat root, the Virat form of the Lord. So this is Cantos 1 and 2. Then, as you go up, Cantos 3 and 4 correspond to the thighs of the Lord. So they talk about Sarga and Visarga. So you'll remember Canto 3 and 4, this is all the discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. So it talks about, astronomy and time and Devahuti Kapila, and all of that comes in that conversation. And the fourth canto is then Dhruva Maharaj, Suniti, Suruchi, and it's called coming all the way from Dhruva down that line all the way to Durvasa Muni and sorry, not Durvasa Muni, Daksha, sorry, coming like that. So that's the fourth canto. Then the fifth canto is like the navel of the Lord, and it describes the activities of Priyavrata Maharaj, and again more to do with planetary systems there and different prayers offered in planetary systems. The sixth canto is like the chest of the Lord, and it's all about Porshanam, how the Lord protects his devotees. And in that we saw the Ajamil pastime, of course, but more importantly we see Indra. We see Indra making a mistake, and then when Indra makes his mistake, a whole series of shenanigans happen, and we have greatly elaborated on them. In particular, Vritrasura's pastime is there, and that's very dear to me. But this is what we see, Porshanam, how the Lord protects the devotees. That's sixth canto. Seventh canto and eighth canto, they are the arms of the Lord. So sixth canto is the chest, seventh and eighth are like the arms. And they talk about uti, inclination. So seventh canto talks about two types of bhakti, which I think we've described. Shuddha bhakti, pure devotional service by Prahlad Maharaj, and Mishra bhakti of Varnashram, which is elaborated on as Yudhishthira and Narad Muni speak. That's seventh canto. Eighth canto is the Manvantara, the reigns of the different Manus, what's happening in the periods of those Manus. And we have discussed that. We've just finished eighth canto. So those are the arms. And now we're getting onto the ninth canto. The ninth canto is like the neck of the Lord. And the 10th canto, Krishna book, or the Sum and Bonum, as Srila Prabhupada entitles it, is the beautiful face of the Lord. So this is how the cantos progress. Now the ninth canto relates to the Ishanukata, the topics relating to the Lord and his devotees. And it is narrated with the intention of instilling more and more devotion and knowledge and renunciation, bhakti, jnana and vairagya in our hearts. So it has discussions of various kings in the solar and lunar dynasty. And then through these stories, some of which will be interesting, let's say, they're different from some of the other stories we've seen in Bhagavatam. Sometimes you'll be confused, Pururava Urvashi story, other stories like this, you'll be a bit confused, why is the story like that? But the point is it's meant to show the dangers of lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, these 6 anarthas. And then by meditating on these stories, then one becomes adequately cautioned by the power of Maya. It's said that there are different types of students. So one type of student, he doesn't listen even after he has been told what is the right thing to do. That's the bottom class, third class student. Second class student, he learns after seeing the mistakes, he learns after experiencing mistakes himself. And the first class student is one who learns by seeing in the mistakes of others. So for us, Bhagavatam is very nice because it doesn't say that you have to experience and then after you experience you'll be able to overcome the difficulty. It says, hey, you don't want this. Look at what happened to this guy. he went through these difficulties. So that's what's going to happen a lot in the ninth canto. So let us begin Canto 9, Chapter 1. Can someone read? Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Here we are. Can we have a volunteer to read, please?
If there is no one, I'd like to read.
Yes, Mataji. Verses 1 till 7, please, Mataji.
Thank you. Okay. King Parikshit said, My Lord Sukadev Goswami, you have elaborately described all the periods of the various Manus, and within those periods, the wonderful activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who has unlimited potency. I am fortunate to have heard all of this from you. Text 2 and 3. Second. Text 2 and 3. Satyavrata, the saintly king of Dravidadesha, who received spiritual knowledge at the end of the last millennium by the grace of the Supreme, later became Vaivasvata Manu, the son of Vivasvan, in the next Manvantara, period of Manu. I have received this knowledge from you. I also understand that such kings as Ikshvaku were his sons, as you have already explained. Text 4. O greatly fortunate Shukdev Goswami, of all the O greatly fortunate Sukadev Goswami, O great Brahmana, kindly describe to us separately the dynasties and characteristics of all those kings, for we are always eager to hear such topics from you. Text 5. Kindly tell us about the abilities of all the celebrated kings born in the dynasty of Vivasvata Manu, including those who have already passed, those who may appear in the future, and those who exist at present. Text 6. Sutta Goswami said, when Shukdev Goswami, the greatest knower of religious principles, was thus requested by Maharaj Parikshit in the assembly of all the scholars learned in Vedic knowledge, he then proceeded to speak. Text 7. Shukdev Goswami continued, O king, subduer of your enemies, now hear from me in great detail about the dynasty of Manu. I shall explain as much as possible, although one could not say everything about it even in 100 years. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So, Parikshit Maharaj is asking, you had mentioned, he's saying to Shukadev Goswami, you had mentioned about all the Manvantaras, and you had said that Satyavrata Muni, King Satyavrata, he became Vaivasvata Manu. So please can you tell me about Vaivasvata Manu and his descendants and their activities? Now one may ask the question, what is so interesting about Vaivasvata Manu that Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring? Isn't this the same as when we do gossip and we say, hey, can you tell me whose son is this and whose father is that? Devotees, what do you say? Why are we interested in learning about the family of Vaivasvata Manu? Nisha Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I don't know
Hare
whether
Krishna.
I'm right or not, but
No, it's okay. Just give a... I'm just trying to see what people think, yeah.
so he's actually the current reigning Manu, which is Shraddha Dev, which is Satyavrata king, who was now current Shraddha Dev Manu, who's our current Manu. And that's the reason we want to learn about Shraddha Dev. Is that right? And then the sons of sun god, I can't pronounce the right word. Is he?
Vivasvan.
Yeah. So is that the reason? We want to
So,
learn more about him and the current reign, and how he ruled.
Yeah. So the reason why we're interested is because these Manus, they are not ordinary personalities like pop stars or celebrities, but rather their activities are always intertwined with the Supreme Lord. In other words, the Lord is always involved with these great personalities. He always gets involved directly in their lives. And so when we learn about them, then we learn about Krishna as well. And so when this question is asked about what is Vaivasvata Manu, who are his descendants, this is because when we learn about the descendants of Vaivasvata Manu, we will come across some very famous personalities, and in that way we will be able to learn stories which will help us in our spiritual life. So let me just share the screen actually. Many of you may have seen this already. But, this is the Srimad Bhagavatam family tree. You might recognize some cantos. We talked about Devahuti Kardama already in Canto 3. Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti are the daughters of Swambhu Manu. We talked about Uttanapad, Dhruva Maharaj. If you go down this, the Anga Vena, we talked about Prithu Maharaj. So you will realize this family tree. Now, the reason for the mentioning of these genealogies or the excessive, you might think, naming, nomenclature, is because all of these personalities, the Lord gets directly involved in their life, right? So you can see whether it's Priyavrat Maharaj or whether it's Rishabdev, right? Nabhi, Ajnabha, all of this, you'll see that the Lord is very directly involved. So here we're looking at Vaivasvata Manu, who is the son of Vivasvan. And we're going to look down that line to see his descendants. So you'll recognize some of these names. Of course, Lord Ram is here. Sorry, I've given away. Canto 9 there'll be a discussion of Lord Ram and his activities. Of course, there is our own very famous, very dear Ambarish Maharaj. In this way, there's so many great personalities in this lineage. And so, by inquiring about such personalities who are involved with Krishna, then one learns so many great things. So this is the question that's been asked. And then, the remaining of this chapter, there is a great discussion about Vaivasvata Manu, his activities and what he does. So the Lord always exists. The Supreme Lord always exists. So Vaivasvata Manu's lineage, let's start off with Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and let's work our way there. Garbhodakshai Vishnu, from his navel comes Lord Brahma. From Brahma comes Marichi. From Marichi comes Kashyapa, and Kashyapa gets married to Aditi. So Kashyapa and Aditi, their children are the Devatas. Okay? I hope everyone's following. Brahma, Marichi, Kashyapa, and then the Devatas. In one of them, there is the sun god, Vivasvan. And then Vivasvan's son is Manu. So this is how Vaivasvata Manu is connected to Lord Brahma. He's coming in that line. Then Vaivasvata Manu has 10 sons. Oh, you're sharing the screen in great detail. I think you're muted, Nana.
I'm sharing. Do you want or you don't want?
No, it's good. Thank you, this helps. So, yeah, Vaivasvata Manu has 10 sons. Some of the important sons are named here. Ila, Mrigha, Ikshvaku, Sharyati, and Nabhagha. So in this way, there are other sons as well. There's Karushaka, Rishadhara, Drishta, and Kavi as well. So it's generally said that the 10 sons are born from Shraddha, but actually Ikshvaku is not born from Shraddha. Ikshvaku is born from Manu's nostril. This is explained in 9.6, 9th canto, 6th chapter. But you can just say that all of them are children of Ikshvaku and Shraddha. So these are the 10 sons. Some of these names you'll recognize, of course. Ikshvaku, very famous, because in that line, of course, you get Lord Raman, etc. So These are the sons. How did Vaivasvata Muni get children? Thank you. You can stop sharing the screen. Thank you. Vaivasvata Muni, actually, he had no sons. What did he do? He performed a sacrifice. This is the custom in previous ages, that when one had no children or one had some difficulty, they would carry out some sacrifice. So therefore, to get a son, the great sage Vashishta Muni, who was very powerful in the spiritual knowledge, he performed the sacrifice. And he satisfied two demigods, Mitra and Varuna. During the sacrifice, Shraddha, the wife of Manu, observed the vow of only drinking milk. And she approached one of the priests of the sacrifice and actually begged him for a daughter. So the chief priest said, okay, that's fine. Now gave some oblations of clarified butter and then said, offer oblations. And the chief priest offered oblations remembering this request and performed the sacrifice while chanting some mantras. So remember the story, Manu had begun the sacrifice for getting a son, but because the priest was delivered a different message by Manu's wife, a daughter was born. Okay? Maybe there's a lesson there about communication between married couples, but I'm a brahmachari. I'm no one to comment on these matters. So one daughter was born, and the daughter's name is Ila. Ila. I-L-A. Ila. So upon seeing that a daughter was born, Manu was not happy because he wanted a son. So then he approaches his spiritual master, Vashishta Muni, and he says that you are expert in chanting Vedic mantras. How is it that the opposite result has happened? Normally, if we chant the mantras and an opposite result comes, it means that we have improperly chanted the mantras. For example, we have talked already about Vritrasra, where the mantra was chanted oppositely, and then Indrari became, instead of someone that's enemy of Indra, instead of someone that protects Indra, we got enemy of Indra. So he's asking, how is there a reversal when you have chanted the mantras properly? It should not be a reversal, right? He says that you are so self-controlled, you're well-balanced in mind, you're a proper person performing austerity, you're cleansed of all your contamination, your words are like the words of the demigods, you're never baffled. How is it possible that your determination has failed? And after hearing these words, Vashishta Muni understands what happened to the priest, that he was given a different message. Vashishta Muni says, by my own prowess, don't worry, I will give you a good son. And after Vashishta made that prayer, he offered this intense prayer, to the Lord. After he made that blessing, he offered an intense prayer to the Lord, and then Ila became a male. And Ila's became the name of this male is Sudyumna. Okay. In relation to this yajna and the yajna giving an opposite result, Prabhupada has written a wonderful purport, and we'll just read something from it about mantra and opposing result. Here we are. In this age, the performance of yajna has been forbidden because no one can properly chant the Vedic mantras. If the Vedic mantras are chanted properly, the desire for which a sacrifice is performed must be successful. Therefore, the Hare Krishna chant is called the Maha Mantra, the great exalted mantra above all other Vedic mantras, because simply chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra brings so many beneficial effects. So with Vedic mantras, if you chant in an improper way, you get the opposite result. But with the Maha Mantra, even if not chanted perfectly, the desired result of Krishna Prema is achieved. This is explained in another verse. Murko vadati Vishnaya, dhiro vadati Vishnave, ubhayostu samam punyam, bhavagrahi janardhana. Someone who knows Sanskrit will know that you should say Vishnave Namaha, because it ends in a U sound. Guru, Gurave Namaha. Vishnu, Vishnave Namaha. And someone that doesn't know Sanskrit will say Vishnaya Namaha, Krishnaya Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. So they will also say Vishnaya Namaha. But what does the verse say? Ubhayostu samam punyam bhavagrahi janardana. It doesn't matter the pronunciation. Krishna doesn't see one's pronunciation. Instead, what does he see? He sees the bhava in the heart, the mood in which, the sincerity in which one recites. So Srila Prabhupada makes a very nice point in that purport to say that these Vedic mantras have such rules, but the Maha Mantra, the only rule is the sincerity of the chanter. So this is a very beautiful point for us to note. Okay. Vashishta Muni has given this blessing, he then praised the Lord, and then Ila becomes Sudyumna a male. So after this happened, then Sudyumna now, he was accompanied by different ministers once, and he was riding on a horse, and he went to the forest to hunt. He was wearing this beautiful armor that's described in detail as well. And as he's going, he goes into this forest. This forest is near the bottom of Mountain Meru. It's known as the Sukumara forest, and it's where Lord Shiva enjoys privately with Uma, Mother Parvati. As soon as Sudyumna entered into this forest, he saw that he became a female, and his horse also became a mare, a female horse. Then he looked at his followers, and all of their identities were also transformed. This is before the modern surgery came about, where this procedure could also happen. So all of their genders became transformed, and they became very morose seeing this. And so this is the story that's being explained by Shukdev Goswami. Parikshit Maharaj interjects and asks, what was in this place? Why was it so powerful? Why did they become women? And then Shukdev Goswami answers, the great persons, saintly persons, who strictly observed the religious principles, they once came to see Lord Shiva in this Sukumara forest. And that time Lord Shiva was enjoying with Mother Parvati. So seeing these activities, Lord Shiva, to please his wife, in order to stop any embarrassment, he said that any male that enters this place will immediately become a female. So since that time, no male has entered that forest. But now, because King Sudyumna had entered as a male, he and his followers had become females. So in relation to this point, Srila Prabhupada has given a beautiful purport, where he explains, the body is just like a dress. If you change your dress, do you change? No. Today I'm wearing a white shirt, tomorrow I wear a blue shirt. Will you all come to me and say, oh, Sundar Chaitanya, you're a completely different person today? Then one day we wear kurta, one day we wear jean pant. Does that mean that we have changed? No. The dress has changed, but the person has not changed. So this, actually, can we get a volunteer to read this paragraph? Any volunteers, dear devotees?
Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, always eager. The body is just like a dress.
The body is just like a dress, and here it is proved. Sudyumna and his associates were all male, which means that their souls were covered by male dress. But now they became female, which means that their dress was changed. The soul, however, remains the same. It is said that by modern medical treatment, a male can be transformed into a female and a female into a male. The body, however, has no connection with the soul. The body can be changed either in this life or the next. Therefore, one who has knowledge of the soul and how the soul transmigrates from one body to another does not pay attention to the body, which is nothing but a covering dress. Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Such a person sees the soul, which is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. Therefore, he is a Samadarshi, a learned person. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So the body is just a dress. If you look at how much time we spend on the body, how many industries just rely on people thinking that they're the body, focusing on the body, we will realize actually we're very foolish. What is the point of decorating the body and not taking care of this soul. Soul has a different food to the body, in the same way the car has a different food to the driver. Many times Srila Prabhupada, in relation to this point, would discuss about a bird in a cage. There was once a woman, and she had a bird in a cage, and the cage was the most beautiful cage ever, with jewels, opals, emeralds, sapphire, and it's such a gorgeous cage. She would always take care of the cage so nicely. But she was so focused on taking care of the cage that she didn't feed the bird inside. And then the bird passed away. And then one day she wanted to show her friends the cage, and there was a very smelly odor in the air. And they were trying to understand, what is the odor? And then they looked in the cage and they saw the bird had passed away. In this way, we have to ask ourselves the question: how much time am I spending on things pertaining to the body? And how much time am I spending on things pertaining to the soul? Sudyumna went into the forest. Boom. Body changed completely. That's it. So much time he spent on the body, thinking that to be his identity, it all changed. We are spending also so much time on the body, and we think, oh, Sudyumna, it happened like that to Sudyumna, but I am an intelligent person. I will take care of my body. Nothing will happen to me. But one day, the same body with which we are putting so much investment, energy, and time disappears. It's not there anymore. Srila Prabhupada has written, the body, however, has no connection with the soul. The body can be changed either in this life or the next. The thing we are putting so much emphasis on, it is not even the reality. It's only part of reality. But the things that we identify with are all on the level of the body. You might think, oh, this is basic philosophy. Probably no, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. This is it. This is the philosophy. This is Sambandha Gyan. We don't need any more philosophy than this. The body has no connection with the soul. I want to challenge a few devotees in our audience today. So, which devotee shall we choose? Is any devotee? Let's choose Jisha Mataji. I'm so sorry, Jisha Mataji. I'm choosing you. Jisha Mataji, if I were to ask you, Mataji, please can you introduce yourself? And you're not allowed to say your name, your age, your gender, your religion, and you have to introduce yourself. You can't mention your occupation. How will you introduce yourself?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Sorry,
Very good question. Sorry, I don't know how to say it.
Okay. No. Thank you. I think it's a very, very difficult question. Do we have any other? Meena Mataji, please.
Yeah, so we can say, I can say that I am a soul in the dress of so and so, so and so.
Wow, Mataji's got the hack. Okay, yeah, very nice. Okay, that's one way of answering. Any other answers?
Krishna Nitya Das.
Okay, you can't. You're cheating. You're not allowed to answer.
All right.
Shama Shriji. Shama Shriji Mataji.
I can say I'm a spirit soul and Jiver Sarupa Nitya Krishna Das. I'm a servant of Lord Krishna, who maintains the gopis,
Wow, amazing. Yeah, Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayo Dasudasa. Really nice. Thank you. Nisha Mataji?
I'll say I'm a soul trying to understand why I'm here.
Wow, amazing. You know, the reality is, all of these answers are wonderful. Thank you, all devotees. You know, the reality is, we think we're so intelligent. We think, yeah, I've got this, I've got that. We think, I know this, I'm doing that. This is okay, this is fine. But we don't even know who we are. Like, we actually don't know who we are. We might theoretically know some philosophy. I'm not body, I'm soul. This is all good. Thank you, Haribol. And then we'll go back to normal life. As in, we don't even change anything because we don't know who we are. Sanatana Goswami, when he goes to Lord Chaitanya, he says, people, they call me a scholar, but I don't know who I am. Ke ami? Who am I? I don't even know. And the craziest part is, we know the philosophy and we still don't know who we are. So I'll give you all a secret. Sometimes people ask, what is my spiritual identity? What is my spiritual identity? Okay, this is all a secret, open secret, but you should not share with anyone because it's your identity. It's all secret, you know? You should not share your spiritual identity with other people. They say that you should keep all your spiritual things nice inside. Okay, is everyone ready to keep the secret? Yes, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, okay. This is your spiritual identity. This is not being told by me. This was told by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said that I'm giving you a Siddha Pranali mantra. Siddha Pranali means this mantra will give you your spiritual identity. Okay? I'm going to share my screen. This, he said, is our spiritual identity. Nadapi shuni chena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadhena kirtaniya sadahari. This is our spiritual identity. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, who does not expect any personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. This is our spiritual identity. What are we? We are like the downtrodden grass. More tolerant than the tree. Amanina, manadhena. Our identity is we should not accept any respect and we should give all respect to others. Kirtaniya sadaharihi. And always we should chant the name of Hari in this way. So, and out of the Shikshashtaka, Mahaprabhu says, one who puts this verse, and he should keep this verse, he says, string this verse onto their neck. In other words, constantly remembering this verse. This, they will understand the perfection of spiritual life. They will understand their identity. So, this is our identity, dear devotees. Keep it a secret. You don't need to tell everyone your identity. Your spiritual identity, it's a nice secret you can keep for you. This is our identity. Trinadapi shunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadhena kirtaniya sadaharihi. So not the job, not Cambridge University, not the prizes that we've won, not the scholarships we have been awarded, not the people that we're related to. They are not actually our real identity. This is our real identity. Our real identity is that we are servants of the Lord, servants of the servants of the servants of the Lord. Okay. Now we've just revealed a big secret. Everyone must be feeling so excited. Oh, here. This is the screen. The body, however, has no connection with the soul. The body cannot be changed in this life or the next. Therefore, one who has knowledge of the soul and how the soul transmigrates from one body to another does not pay attention to the body, which is nothing but a covering dress. Panditaha samadharshina. Such a person sees the soul, which is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he's a samadarshi, a learned person. This is real intelligence. It's not the degree, it's not the qualification, it's not the number of verses we memorize. This is real intelligence. This is real intelligence. And hopefully one day we can just pray that by our chanting, that Krishna gives us that realization, by our serving devotees, that Krishna gives us that realization. That's it, that's our identity. And many times people will argue, Prabhu, I don't know if God exists, I don't know if this, I don't know if that, I don't know which philosophy. The one thing that we should all be very, very clear on in our own consciousness, in our own mind, in our own heart, is that we're not the body, we're the soul. And if anyone asks you for any philosophy, Srila Prabhupada didn't discuss too many that philosophy. Goswamis, Radha, Krishna, Nitya Leela, he didn't discuss about those things. If anyone ever tried to discuss any philosophy, he would just bring it back to body, soul. He would use scientific arguments, he would use philosophical arguments, and he would prove that we are not this body, we're the spirit soul. And also even with us, if we want any philosophy or scientific understanding, the only scientific and philosophical understanding we need in our spiritual life is in pertinence to this concept, that we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. And if you need help in learning this, or you have doubts about this, please get them, please discuss, please check, please figure out those things. For those who are serious students, there is a nice web series by Akandadi Prabhu called The Atma Paradigm. And he explains in a very rigid, deep, philosophical way how we cannot be this body. And you should be so convinced on the topic that you're not the body that you should be able to convince others. This is a very important point. Srila Prabhupada said you can never convince others that Krishna exists because they will not believe you. You can never convince others about any other point. But one thing we must always be able to convince people about is that they are not the body, they're the spirit soul. And if they present arguments, you must be able to defeat those. That's the only philosophy we need in the entirety of our spiritual life. If you listen to any Srila Prabhupada lecture, CC, BG, or SB, he will always say, you're not an American, you're not Indian, you're not white, you're not black, you are not the body, you're simply spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. This is the entirety of the Siddhanta that we need. Trinadapi shunichena, taroriva sahishnuna, amanina manadhena, kirtaniya sadahari. Okay. So, coming back to Sudyumna. Sudyumna became a woman because he had entered into that forest and Lord Shiva had given that boon. Anyone that comes into the Sukumara forest, they will become a woman. So, then, when he was in this forest, Buddha, the son of the moon, united with Sudyumna, now as a woman. So Sudyumna desired to accept Buddha, the son of the king of the moon, son of moon god, as her husband. And in this way, Buddha begot in her womb a son named Pururava. So let me go back to that diagram. Share screen. So in this way, the Soma and the Soma and Vivaswan dynasties are actually connected. Here you see the sun god, the solar dynasty and the lunar dynasty, they're actually connected in this way. Because Vivaswan's son, Manu's son Sudyumna becomes a daughter, becomes a female, and then unites with Buddha. Buddha is the son of Soma, the moon. So their uniting produces the progeny Pururava, who we will later discuss about. So in this way, the solar and lunar dynasties actually, you can say that the lunar dynasty is basically then part of the solar dynasty because of Vaivasvata Manu's son/daughter, Sudyumna, being involved in this dynasty. Also, this Buddha over here, who we are discussing about, it's not Lord Buddha, it's a different Buddha. This Buddha is the same as Abhimanyu. He takes the incarnation of Abhimanyu. And you all know the story of Abhimanyu in Mahabharata. So that's this Buddha here. Okay. Then, Shukadeva Goswami says something which I quite like. I think this is an important phrase, if I share this. Shukadeva Goswami says, I have heard from reliable sources that King Sudyumna, the son of Manu, having thus achieved femininity, remembered his spiritual master, and then Vashishta Muni feels very aggrieved. But in relation to this point, it's very important that we understand, I have heard from reliable sources that iti shushruma, I have heard from reliable sources. So whatever Shukadeva Goswami is speaking, he's speaking on the authority of the saintly persons. And one time when Srila Prabhupada did class, he did a class on this verse, and he just focused on iti shushruma, this phrase. That when we are speaking, are we speaking our own ideas? Or are we speaking the ideas that are provided by the saintly persons? What are we speaking? Iti shushruma. We must not give our ideas in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes people, they go with their ideas. Oh, Prabhu, everyone is pure devotee. Everyone is amazing. I'll just do this. I'll go here. I'll chant Hare Krishna. I'll go back home. This is our idea. But we need to follow iti shushruma. What is it that the scriptures are telling? What is it that Prabhupada says? Because we are following in his parampara. What is he saying? What are the great devotees saying? This is the way of moving forward in the spiritual life. But then Vasishtha Muni sees this condition and he begins to worship Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva becoming pleased with him, but he has to keep the words that he has promised to Parvati also true. He says that your disciple Sudyumna will remain a male for 1 month and a female for the next month. Very interesting condition, isn't it? Remain a male for 1 month and a female for the next month. And then the words of Lord Shiva come true. So Sudyumna regained his desired maleness every alternate month. So he carried on ruling the kingdom in this way, but the citizens didn't. The citizens weren't happy because every time that the king became a female, he was not able to discharge his royal duty. So the citizens weren't very satisfied with that. Anyway, this is the story of Sudyumna. Sudyumna then goes on to have 3 sons, Utkala, Gaya, and Vimala, and they become the kings of the Dakshinapata. Then, when Sudyumna reached older age, he delivered the kingdom to his son Pururava, and he entered the forest. So, according to the Varnashrama system, once one reaches the age of 50, Panchashordham Vanam Vrajet, Prabhupada quotes, Panchashordham Vanam Vrajet. Generally, in the Varnashram system, when one reaches 50 years of age, they begin winding up their working activities and begin retiring to Vanaprastha, leaving the kingdom, going to the forest to complete the spiritual life. So this is also something that's important, even in the present day, that those of us who are entering into Grihasthashram, etc., should also plan that how we wind up our activities. We can't spend our whole life working like this. We need to spend some time going deeper to go into our Krishna consciousness, taking a break from this constant cycle of work in the material world and engaging more in the spiritual life. So Sudyumna set that example in his old age. And that is this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very interesting chapter. King Sudyumna becomes a woman.
Okay. Do you want me to summarize a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so in the previous canto, we talked about Manvantaras, the description of various manus and then the activities of the Lord in those Manvantaras. So it talks about various manus. Say, for example, Gajendra pastime took place in the 4th Manu named Tamasa. Then we talked about the churning of milk ocean pastime took place in the 6th Manvantara, Chakshusha. Then we talked about Vamandev pastime that took place actually in this Manvantara, 7th Manvantara. So here, Parikshit Maharaj who asked Shukadeva Goswami that he had heard in detail about various Manus, but he wanted to hear the dynasties of the current Manu. This was the question, right? This was the question. So, dynasty of the current Manu. We know the current Manu name is um, Shraddha Deva. Because this, who is this Shraddha Deva? This Shraddha Deva was the King Satyavrata in the previous life. That time he was ruling Dravida Desha, Tamil Nadu area. So King Satyavrata now became Shraddha Deva as the son of sun god. Yeah. So son of Vivaswan. Sun god's name is Vivaswan. Vivaswan's son. And now Vivaswan had several children. I don't want to confuse you all. So he became the son of a sun god. So his name is Shraddha Deva. And then he gives a little bit of background. But anyway, so that's fine. We'll leave there. Shraddha Deva. And this Shraddha Deva, current Manu, is also known as Vaivasvata Manu, initially did not have any children. Kings, to rule the kingdom, they need some successor. Ideally, a male would be good to take on the royal duties. So if you see in the system, in the saintly kings in the olden days, they always, if they don't have children, they will perform a yajna. So Vashishta, under the guidance of Vashishta, they performed yajna for begetting a son, who Shraddha Deva. Shraddha Deva's wife is Shraddha. So some or other anyway, because something happened, instead of a son, they begot a daughter named Ila. Because actually Manu's wife wanted a daughter. Manu wanted a son, but Manu's wife wanted a daughter. So that's how Ila was born. They were happy for some time because no children, better, having daughter is better. Like, in those days, they wanted a son for the throne. But however, he questioned Vashishta, our Vaivasvata Manu. Shraddha Deva questioned why this happened, etc. With Vashishta, with his power and with his austerity, devotion, he pleased Lord Vishnu. And this Ila was transformed into male. He was then named Sudyumna. Correct? Sudyumna. So Ila was female, but now male, named Sudyumna. And this Sudyumna entered, along with his assistants, ministers. He entered into a place of a Lord Shiva, where Lord Shiva and Parvati engage in their intimate pastimes. As soon as he entered that place, this is also Himalayas, actually. It's a different Himalaya. He became female. Sudyumna initially was Ila, female, then was transformed into male by Vashishta pleasing Lord Vishnu. Then now, because he entered into this particular place, which where Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati engages in intimate pastimes, so he became female along with his assistant. And so he was so, this Sudyumna in the body of female, he was so attractive. Then son of moon god named Buddha got attracted, and they begot a son named Pururava. There are so many names, just remember Pururava. So that's why I've taken to summarize, because it's a different way sometimes you hear Pururava. Okay, let's begin. What's his name? King Satyavrata of Dravida Desh, in the 6th Manvantara, previous Manvantara, now became the son of sun god named Shraddha Deva, and he was married to Shraddha, and he is also Vaivasvata Manu. They did not have any children, and they performed yajna, and they begot daughter named Ila. Then Vashishta pleased Lord Vishnu. Ila then became male named Sudyumna. That Sudyumna then entered this particular place of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, and then that Sudyumna became female. In the body of female, with the union of Sudyumna female and Buddha, son of moon god, then born a Pururava. So, and the Sudyumna remembered his spiritual master, because he has to rule the kingdom. He has to discharge his royal duties. So, as a female, member, and he was not able to do so. Then Vashishta pleased Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva said, the curse should not go in vain. So he will become male for 1 month, and in the next month he will become female. So when he was male, in the male body, Sudyumna ruled the kingdom. In the female body, he could not. Seasons were not so happy anyway. So this is the chapter, and he had 3 other sons also mentioned. So when he retired, then he handed over the kingdom to Pururava, who Sudyumna begot with Buddha. Pururava, that story comes later, Pururava story. Yeah, so then this will continue further. Yeah, anything you want to add, Sundar Chaitanya?
I think that the main point that we learn is taking main points in terms of philosophical points for us to meditate on, or practical points are that luckily, even if you chant your mantra's pronunciation wrong, Maha Mantra, it doesn't have any effect. That's the first point. And the second is a very important point. We're not the body. We think we are. We hear all the philosophy, and we still think we're the body. Sanatana Goswami is one of the greatest scholars. He definitely knew that. But even he says, people say that I'm a great scholar, but I don't know who I am. And the problem is we still think we're the body. We don't actually know who we are. So I think philosophically, that's the only point to add.
Yeah. Okay, so one more point I wanted to mention is that, Prabhupada mentioned generally, the male becomes female and female becomes the male due to attraction. So we are probably changing our genders, one life after life, after life. Huh? But Sudyumna changed within that that life itself. He was being put into female body for some time, and then male body into other times. Yeah. So yeah, this place is like this. Even though he was, with the Vashishta did so much, but he could not fully contract the cause.
I
Yeah.
think what's probably important is we look at Sudyumna's case and we think, oh, that's a special case scenario,
Mm,
but that's actually us.
mm, mm, mm.
It's just we have it over a big time span, right?
Big time span.
He has month on month change.
Yeah,
We have life
exactly.
after life change, but it's the exact
That's what.
same thing.
Yeah,
Exact same thing. There's no
exact same
difference
thing.
between
Yeah.
him and
So,
us.
and these yajnas, definitely Prabhupada mentions that Hare Krishna mantra is the yajnanam japa yajnosmi. Among all the yajnas, I am japa, chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hmm? So that is the best yajna for Kali Yuga. Nisha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I just got this question, So we say we are not the body, we are the soul. And at that age, people were more wise. Why they didn't understood the ruling of Sadyumna when he was female? Because actually it was a dress. So it's not like it's the same soul who's serving the kingdom. Why they didn't was displeased with his ruling,
Yeah.
basically.
Sundar, you want to answer or shall I answer? Huh? Yeah. So Mataji, see, that is spiritually correct. But when one possesses a particular type of body, there is a different psychophysical nature that comes with it. Uh,
Hmm.
so then we have to follow just certain things are based on the body. Then men and women act slightly differently because they have a different psychophysical nature. So that was the tradition also, that you know it was usually the kings, and when as a female you have a different psychophysical nature. Yeah.
Hmm.
Spiritually you are right, no problem.
Hmm.
So once one reporter asked Prabhupada, uh, what's the difference between male and female, like was saying spirit soul, like everything is fine. Prabhupada said, I can ask one 16-year-old man or 18-year-old man to go around, travel around the world without any issue. Can 18-year-old
Do
woman travel without any hindrances like that? So there is bodily, there is, we have to understand. Spiritually, no problem. Everyone has got the equal opportunity. Krishna says, Mamji Partha Vyapashritya ye apisyo papayonayaha striyo vaishyas tata shudra te apiyanti paramgat. Krishna says everybody has got the equal opportunity, irrespective of caste, gender, sex, and species also. Even Gajendra got liberated. But as a body, you have a different psychophysical nature. You have to understand.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. One more question, if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Our Arya Devi is there to fire.
Yeah, after me. Yeah, thank you.
After you.
So the next question is actually simple. The web series Sundar Chaitanya Prabhuji said about Atma. I couldn't quite catch the web series I want to search about. I want to read.
He's going to send that over to you. Atma Paradigm.
Atma?
So let me just share my screen. This is the name of the web series, Atma Paradigm. It's a lot more in-depth way of analyzing And if this you think is too much, then there is a smaller book called Life Comes from Life, a small Srila Prabhupada book. You can find the PDF online. And there's another small Srila Prabhupada book called Coming Back. So these are all Coming Back, Life Comes from Life. Those are two nice books where Srila Prabhupada talks about this. And if you are debating with some philosophers and scientists, or you also just for your own interest want to know how to use philosophy and science to prove, this Atma paradigm is very useful because it just builds on the points that Srila Prabhupada would make and then present in a very nice way.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Arya Devi.
I don't have any fiery questions, Prabhuji. But I was just asking about the concept of not being the body. Like, isn't it, obviously it's important that we don't superficially try and imitate that as well. And some people might say like, oh, why are you decorating yourself nicely? Why are you wearing like nice clothes? You're not the body. Do you not know you're the spirit soul and stuff like, yeah, what are your thoughts around that?
The point of the bird and the cage story, I think, is a good point. Because when we say feed the bird, we don't say ignore the cage. I am not saying that the woman is a terrible person because she took care of her cage and polished it. I'm saying the woman's a terrible person because she ignored the bird. So actually, it doesn't matter. When we say you're not the body, it doesn't mean that you neglect the body. It means irrespective of whether you take care of the body nicely or you don't take care of the body at all, irrespective of that condition, we need to prioritize the soul. Ultimately, we're living in the body. There's a very famous verse that Prabhupada quotes, Sharira manyam kalu dharma sadhanam. If one does not take care of their body, they cannot do dharma or sadhana. If we are ill, what spiritual advancement can we make? Instead of giving service to others, we will end up receiving service. So, of course, we should take care of the body, but it's that we should prioritize the well-being of the soul, because it's the priority. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely body needs to be taken care. That is everybody understands because we are in this body and this.
You're very quiet. Sorry.
Okay. I was a little far away. Can you hear me better now? Yeah. So we definitely need to take care of our body, as we all know, because we are in this body. When you take care, we can offer more service to the Lord. That everybody knows. And then with regards to decorating this body, yes, presenting, Prabhupada said that decorate for the pleasure of Krishna. That's what he said. When we are presentable, we can also preach to others because that is also important. We are in the preaching mission. Yeah, so those are my thoughts, Arya.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. So, because it's just like when Prabhupada said things like, well, actually, I don't know the exact quotation or anything, but in general, like, actually, it's fine.
Yeah, see, ultimately these things are there, but ultimately, we have to be spiritual.
Yeah, of course.
Whether, it doesn't mean that if I'm not decorating, that means I can do any nonsense. It's useless.
Yeah,
Whether we decorate ourselves, whether we not decorate ourselves, whether we put makeup or do not put makeup, ultimately we have to be spiritual at the end of the day.
yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah,
It doesn't mean that one who is not putting makeup or not decorating nicely, that person is a devotee. Can we call it? We can't. So that is the essence.
yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate for being on this journey for over a number of years, and now we have on this New Year Day, 2026, we have entered into the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Really appreciate, very grateful for your commitment of continuing to attend these classes. really appreciate and sincerely praying at the feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga that bless us all with spirituality and empower all of us with spiritual vision and so sincerely pray at the feet of the Lord to shower blessings upon all of you and that we increase our spirituality devotion in this year. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Excellent class.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
to
so
you,
much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, and Sundar Jitne Prabhuji as well. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Sundar Chitan Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you all.
Krishna.
No,
Happy New
thank
Year
you.
to all.
Wonderful class. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Happy New Year. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, both Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare 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 Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Bye.